Now we're going to talk about the cosine function. So cosine, if you look at the unit circle at 0, remember this is 0, you have the cosine function reaches its maximum value. So let's just say we're trying to plot this graph for one period. Okay, we're trying to plot y equals cosine of theta. Okay, so it starts initially at its maximum value, right? So cosine of 0 is going to be 1. We'll call this 1 right here. And this minus 1. So it's going to start right here. Then as it gets closer to a quarter period, it's going to approach 0. So at pi over 2, the function is 0. So we have this point and this point. At pi, as it goes towards pi, now it's negative, it's getting more negative until it reaches a minimum at pi where it's negative 1. And I made a mistake here. Okay, then it slowly comes back and approaches 0 at 3/4 of the way. Cosine of 3 pi over 2 is 0. So we have this point over here. This one, that one. And then finally at 2 pi, it finally makes its way back up all the way to 1. So if we were to draw this graph, and we can do it in a different color. Let's pick one we've never used. Orange. Okay. It starts at its max, goes to 0, goes to its min, goes back to 0, and then up to its max. So the way we can write this is the max. This is 0. This is the min. This is 0. And this is the max. Okay, so we can write it as max 0, min 0, and then it's max. Okay. So let's do a different graph. Okay, a different graph. Suppose we have y equals a cosine of b times theta times theta. The absolute value of a is your amplitude. B is the number of cycles in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, and then our period is 2 pi over b. Period. Okay, so if we wanted to sketch y equals 1.5 cosine of 2 theta, the first thing we need to do is remember how the shape is. Okay, so it's going to start off at its max, go to 0, and go down to its min, then back to 0, and then to its max. So how long does it take to go through one cycle? Well, we have to figure that out. So the period is 2 pi over, and I'm going to write period is 2 pi over b, which is 2. So the period is pi. So in this question, it's asking you to sketch the graph from the interval 0 to 2 pi. So we can make a mark, let's just say right here, and we'll call this pi, and then this would be 2 pi. Actually, it might be easier if we expand this a little bit. Since we have 2 cycles in the period 2 pi, we're going to need make this 2 pi right here. Okay. Now the amplitude is 1.5. So right here we have, let's just say this is 1. This would be minus 1. 1.5 is right here. So it starts at its maximum. Now we know the period is pi. So a quarter of the way down, it goes to 0, right? Then halfway through, it reaches the minimum. 3/4 of the way, it's back at 0. And then, oh, made a mistake here. This is supposed to be a 1. Sorry, negative 1. This is negative 1.5. This is a half, negative a half, negative 1, negative 1.5. And then after one complete cycle, it goes back up to its max. So max, 0, min, 0, max. So again, we repeat the same cycle here. And then we connect it. It's a kind of a roller coaster ride here. Okay, so we sketched the graph of 1.5 cosine of 2 theta. As you can see, there are 2 cycles, right? There's one right here, and then another one right here. So there's 2 cycles, which is the b value in the interval 0 to 2 pi. Okay, so that concludes our lecture on cosine. Let's just do a quick example in the graphing calculator. So let's plot, instead of sine, let's use cosine function. Okay. So cosine of 4x. Okay, so we're plotting cosine of 4x. So in our window, I think we had 0 and 2 pi. And then we're going in increments of pi over 2. And our y minimum was negative 2 and our y maximum was 2. Let's see what happens when we graph this. Okay, so cosine of 4x. So if you notice in 2 pi, in an interval of 0 to 2 pi, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 cycles. Right? We have 4 cycles. So the period is going to be 2 pi over 4. Okay? 2 pi over 4, which is pi over 2. Again, for cosine of 4 theta. Alright, thanks for watching.